So now welcome our channel. Our channel name is Dasawar Tech, and today we can study about our computer formalization. So guys, welcome in my channel. Every field insurance and instructive data. So guys, instructive data can use to manipulate your working area, and I can should show you how to work on the inquiry and injury working. A uniquely determined alpha value B, the functional dependent of B and A, represented by an arrow as A, B, an attribute may be functionally dependent on two or more attributes rather than a single attribute. For example, consider the relation. So we can study about the consider relation. They can attribute and they can manipulate data. So guys, if you have any type of issue on this topic, you can to realize and you can to realize is static on that. But in cases you can to demonstrate, I will show you all the backgrounding area, because I can also summarize I can also symbolize data, because the main data can be functional and inhabited function on that. So guys, this type of functional data you can do use on my videos. I can also show the attribute codes. An attribute may be functional dependent on two or more attributes rather than the single attribute. For example, consider the relation. So if you can consider the relation, so you can also accurately the functional dependency in the relation of are represented as follow: studied Carcano concentrate. The attribute of the theft of the side of a two called deriment. So you can use the deriment sides and they can be probably working on that. You can also use the deriment size on here. So you can also study on the deriment size. Before normalization process, the initial entity and the attribute must be checked the error of oversights. There may be some hidden problems that synonyms. The synonyms is created when two different names of use for some information attribute in attribute resides in the one entity. In the short of entity attribute names, for the example, consider the following two entities. So now we can study about two entities and the backgrounding entities. We can also much rather than that. So if you cannot use the background entity, and the entity system can be portfolio and perform on that. But I can also show you how to the entity working and how they are be the supplier. So use the error on data, but they can deal on that item, stock number, item color, supplier code. So supplier ID, supplier name, error. So we have some error on that, but in case we can study each on error. We should use supplier code instead of supplier ID in our supplier. So we can use supplier ID on that. They can be very easiest form on that. So guys, the easiest form, I mean, you can to use to perform the background functional and the functional exotic function on that. But in case you have any type of issue, you can ask me anytime and I will solve all your background problem on one time, because I can also show how they are be demonstrate working on it. Hynomens and hynomens is created when same name is used to two different attributes. Consider the following example. You can use the consider following example and they can should use to demonstrate working. I can also use the background area, because this type of consider working are very easily. So customer supply. A honeymoon is created when the same name and the same center used to functional used to two different attributes. Consider the following example. So you can use the following example and the following name of the supplier on the side. You can do entity on that. They can be perform how they are be should use to that. But in case you can to know or don't know, we can follow the functional steps and we can also reach all the acceptation data. Guys, customer and supplier. So the customer and supplier constitution, company name error. We should use supplier name to instead of company name supplier. Resident information, storing the same information in two different ways to form. Consider the example: employee age, date of birth, error. So we have error. In now video we can clear the error on this video.